it talks about ufology, the block to contact. And this is something I wanted to talk about. And, you know, there's some things going on which are very, very interesting. I'm seeing a lot of people with these energies coming in. Their dark sides are coming up, and they are losing it. And there's a certain doctor out there, I won't mention his name, but, you know, he does a lot of Star Kids things, which is scary, you know, because this guy is actually working with kids. And you know, he has this program going where he, you know, reads the energy signature. I don't know if he uses a pendulum or what he does or how he does it. And then he projects his own darkness or his own negativity on the person and says, I feel a negative energy signature. And he's been doing this for quite some time, and anybody who challenges him or asks a question that doesn't totally agree with his program or asks them, you know, wait a second, you've made about 10 prophecies here and none of them have happened. Don't you think it's time you reevaluate your source? He gets very angry and very upset and then starts saying that they are cabal and they're working with the cabal and their energy signature is negative. And what's very sad is I know a lot of people that are depending on him for information that when they started using their own logic and, you know, things weren't making sense and didn't feel right, you know, they were deemed negative and cabal and everything else. And some of these people, I know them personally, and they are wonderful people. You know, one woman that just got a negative letter like that was probably one of the most loving, joyous, caring, service-oriented people on the planet right now. And for somebody to write a letter like that saying that she had a negative signature and was working for the cabal and all this, it's beyond ridiculous. And I don't even want to give that any more energy. But I'm just saying a little heads up in that arena. You know, you might want to look at, you know, people losing it, you know, in the days to come and projecting their own negativity and their own darkness out on everybody else versus going back to that basic law, you know, of, you know, we need to step back, you know, a little bit, and rather than making everybody dark and ugly, you know, start seeing the light and in everyone. And nobody's perfect, you know. I'm definitely not perfect, you know, but we do have to acknowledge there are things happening here. To be enlightened means to be in knowledge of. And we have to look very closely at our motives and our intent and see if we are coming from a very pure intent, you know, very high motives, and that we're doing the best we can, you know, to assist in the awakening and healing of humanity in the earth. You know, and sometimes, as I said, enlightenment means to be in knowledge of the good, the bad, and the ugly, you know, all and everything in between. It means to be in knowledge of it. You know, you look at it as an observer. You don't get caught up in it. You don't get angry and frustrated, and, you know, you don't get into judgment and want to go out and cut heads off. You know, that's not the program. But we do need to acknowledge that there are certain things unfolding here. There are certain groups that do not care one iota for you and your family or this planet. And they are becoming psychotic, you know, in the days to come. And that is what's going to happen. Because when this accelerating energy comes in, it's going to push all that right to the surface. And in every one of these people is a very wounded little boy or little girl. You know, they're very scared. They're very wounded. They're trying to impress, you know, their family or others, you know, other dark souls in doing these deeds. And they've lost their soul connection. They've lost their spirit connection. There's no love or joy in their life. You know, it's sad. You know, they're very sad people. But they are very dangerous people too, and we need to pay attention to that. But not to get into fear, just recognize it and you know, let it collapse in on itself. Now the Lakota prophecy, they talk about a beast, you know, and the beast is 2,000 miles wide, and that represents the length or time that this beast is going to have its reign. And it consumes everything. I mean, it consumes and dominates everyone, everything. And right when you think there's no more hope, the beast collapses in on itself. And then comes the 1,000 years of peace and the reunification with the star nations. the off-world visitors, and everything gets cleaned up very quickly. So basically, that's what I kind of see happening myself. So a little good news there. We are going to go through this process, and I think the beast right now is pretty much revealed who it is. And can't miss it. Just look at Gulf Oil, you'll see the beast right there, the beast in action. And look at the international bankers and look at everything else that's going on. You'll see the beast. It's there. But there's a lot of different stories. The Hopi prophecies talk about two worlds, and one world going on the downward spiral where they just go into technology and control and loss of freedom and all this other stuff, and they collapse. They totally collapse. In the other soul, you see people working together in harmony with each other in the planet and growing their corn and everything else, and that world flourishes. It keeps going. So basically that's what we're in. These prophecies are unfolding. We can't deny it. And the oceans are turning red with core exit. Even in the Bible talks about these times. So, it'd be nice. It'd be nice to just end all this stuff. I don't think we need to go through Armageddon. I think that's an option. I think we can rise up to the occasion and start doing our prayer and meditation work and asking for help and doing all we can to turn this planet around, and we can steer this planet in a whole different direction. But we have to realize who's who's steering it now, and if we are going to continue with them steering it, and look at where they are steering it. So are we going to allow ourselves to go on the downward spiral and experience social, economic, and environmental collapse, or are we going to take the upward spiral and live in harmony with each other and the planet, and start getting closer, getting back to nature? Those are choices we're all going to have to make. And believe me, a lot of people talk about these third world countries that are living on nothing. Well, you know what? They're going to fare very well through this. They're not even going to know something happened, So anyway, they know how to get by on very little. They know how to live simply. A lot of them have found the joy and the love and the acceptance within themselves. They're very enlightened, very awake. So basically, this mass consumption program that we have over here in the U.S. is not going to do very well. And I really don't see the grid hanging out too much longer either. Mainly because of the solar flares. And, this galactic core energy that's coming in is activating the sun. The sun is throwing off coronal mass ejections and flares. We're moving into solar cycle 24. So far, they're not really doing what's necessary to, put surge protectors on the grid, and it's not going to be good, when the flares start, amping up again between now and 2012. So anyway, you really think about it in an advanced, technologically advanced culture such as ours. You've got your, ATM, your debit card. A lot of people are living check to check. If the grid goes down, it's not going to be a good, especially in the cities, it's not going to be good. So, if the grid goes down, water doesn't get pumped, sewage doesn't get pumped, your ATM card doesn't work, gas doesn't get pumped, you're pretty much stuck where you are. If you can get out, and you're not locked into a grid of everybody else running out of gas, kudos to you. But, basically, so far that's on the books, and it does look like it's going to unfold. Not to be a bearer of bad news, but, this is just a cycle. This is science now. The things I'm telling you aren't prophecy. They were prophecy back in 1982 when I wrote about them in Becoming Gods and Reunion with Source. I mean, these things are unfolding now. They were prophecy then, but they're no longer prophecy. Now they're statistics and they're facts and they're science, and it's all happening right now. So, if you think this is just somebody having a vision, some wacko sitting on a mountain having visions and it's not going to come to pass, you're in it. It's come to pass and it's unfolding as we speak. So we're in it. We bought this Earth ticket. we chose this time to come in,